So till now we have discussed about HTML and how we are going to place the elements on HTML, and then we have discussed the concepts of forms where we can able to input some data to the user. So now we are going to discuss about the concepts of JavaScript, sorry, CSS. So what is this CSS? CSS is nothing but cascading style sheets. Everyone can see my screen? Okay. So what is this CSS? CSS is nothing but styles how we are going to provide to an HTML page. So till now what we have seen, how to place the element, where to place the element. This is the thing we have seen. Now what we are going to discuss about is when you place an element, how attractive you are placing that element and how cleanly you are displaying that element. Those things we are going to discuss now. So let's go to the basic concepts of CSS. So how we can write a CSS in HTML page? We are going to write mainly three types of CSS. One is inline CSS, second one is in-page CSS, and third one is external CSS. So first we'll discuss about inline and in-page CSS, then we'll go to external CSS. So what is an inline CSS? So simple example what I have is I have some H1 or paragraph. I'll write a div stop. I have a div and this is my sample content. When I have sample content, so how I am going to display this content? So what color I want to display and what is the font size I want to display? All the things how can we provide to this content? For that we are going to apply some styling to the this page, this element. So what I'm doing, I'm providing some styling. So what is the attribute for providing styling is style. By style, we can able to provide some content. Everyone can see my screen or not? Can you please confirm? Okay, I think you have some issue from your side. Can you please check yourself? Okay. So how can I apply styling for this div? So we have an attribute called style, and by using the style, we can apply some styling. So what are all the in style attribute? How can we provide some styling? So we need to use key value pair to provide any style to the HTML page. So key defines what type of style you are applying. Value defines what value you need to apply for that key. As of now, I am going to provide some color. I want to provide some color. So I need to provide some color, and then what is the date for, what is the value for that? Values I can provide the color as red, green, blue or something. So like this we can provide style. Suppose you wanted to apply multiple styling for a element. So how can I provide multiple styling? So you need to differentiate between the key value pair continuously. So that I am going to use semicolon over here. If you want to give space, you can give. If not, that is not mandatory. But as per the rules and regulations, if you go, better to provide space. Okay. I can provide a font size as 30 pixels. Good. This is the styles I want to apply. So I'm copying these two styles and I'm pasting inside the style. If I execute this thing, you can see this is my sample content. Suppose if I'm not having this thing, If I execute, you can get normal content. So this is the way you can provide styling for a HTML element by using inline style sheet. Okay, this is the way you are going to provide styling for inline style sheet. Okay, now once you are providing stylings for inline style sheet, what makes difference here? So why inline style sheets are not, we should not use much inline stylings for a HTML page. So why? Simple example I'll tell here. I have 10 divs like here. So now what happened? I have 10 divs. Maybe I can have 20 divs, 30, 100, and number of things I'll be having in a simple page. What you are doing, you are repeatedly writing the styling for this HTML element. Is it good practice? No, it's not a good practice. Then how can we provide styling in better way? So that comes, there it comes as in page style sheets. So how can I write in page style sheet? In HTML head tag. So HTML head tag is the main place where you can provide some features, some data which mainly used for HTML body content. So that's reason I'm going to write style over here. To write in page style sheets, we need to write style type as CSS. So what we are telling in the head section, now in this starting and ending style, I'm going to write couple of stylings. Okay. Now I wanted to apply for all these div tags, same styling I wanted to apply. So how can I apply? So here we are writing each and every page. I am going to write this thing. Every line I am writing. So it is going to be repetitive code. Suppose I want to modify font size to 35 pixels or color to blue. How many places you need to modify? You need to modify 10 places to do the small change. It's not recommended. So how we can do those things? We can do by using the in-page style sheets or external style sheets. Okay. So how can I write in-page style sheet? To write in-page style sheet, we can follow three types. In-page style sheets, we can follow three things. First one is by HTML tag name. Second one is class. Third one is ID. Okay. Third one is ID. So by using those things, we are going to provide this thing. Now, how can we do this thing? By providing HTML tag name, we can provide step. So how can I provide? I need to apply color and font size. So these are all the two things I need to apply. So I want to apply multiple styling for a one HTML attribute. So how can we bind them? So we can bind them by using curly braces and the same structure how we are writing with the semicolon we are going to write. So we have binded all these different type of styles in a braces. So it treats as a style now. So what style it is going to, where it is going to apply. So that we need to define. So where you need to apply, as of now we are seeing by HTML tag names. So what I'm telling to this style is whenever div comes, I need to apply this styling. So I'm going to provide div. So what it means is like by providing an HTML tag name, I'm applying the style. So what we are telling, whenever div is going to come in the body section, apply this style. So now what I'm going to do is here is I'm just hiding this thing. I have provided couple of div tags, and let me execute this. See here, for all the divs, same style is applied. Okay, like this, we can apply some stylings for a HTML element. That too by using HTML tag name. See, as soon as div is there, it is a responsive. Always div is a responsive because it takes 100% by default. If you are increasing, decreasing, it takes 100% of the page. Now, so till now everything is good. But again, we are into a one more problem. You will come and say, I don't want a styling for couple of div tags. I don't want style for the couple of div tags. Alternatively, I need styles. So first one, I need the font color red and font size 30. Second one, I need to have color as blue and font size as 30. So like this, you need to get alternative styles. At that time, this concept is useful. No, it's not useful. Then what we are going to use for this concept? So we are going to use two concepts here. Those are classes and IDs. But the problem with ID is, ID you can provide. But the problem with ID is, you have to provide identification for each and every div. So that is going to be one more critical part. So then how can we provide? Oh, we can provide by using the classes. Okay, we can provide by using the classes. So how can I provide classes? So what I'm doing is, I am providing a class with a, to write a class CSS, we need to use dot symbol. And then we need to write the class name. What class we need to apply for it. I'm going to apply even. Okay. And then I'm going to create one more class called odd. Odd. So what I'm doing for even, I'm providing rendered 30 pixel. For odd, I'm going to provide lower 30 pixel. So now how can I apply this even to even rows and odd to odd rows? So one is odd. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to apply some class to the even odd div tag. How can we? We need to use the attribute called class. And then what is the class name? You need to provide over here. We have odd correct. We need to provide odd here. And for the second, we have even. We need to provide even. Okay. And then for the third one, odd. And the fourth one, even. If you see here, what is happening? If I execute this thing, and let me remove the hide this thing. See here, whenever you are applying even, you are getting red. Whenever you are applying odd, you are getting odd. So what it is telling? Okay, so you have multiple things which are using the same type of styling. So how we are going to provide them? By using this class concept, we are going to provide these concepts. Okay, so by using the class concept, we are going to provide this. You got it? And suppose I need to have one more class. Okay, I'm going to create a class called font size background. Okay, I'm going to provide a CSS background color as black. Okay, so now how can I apply multiple stylings to a HTML element? Nothing, just copy the class name and provide a space, and you can provide multiple classes for a HTML element. If I execute, you can see background color is applied. So we can provide multiple classes to an HTML element by using the class. Got it? Any questions still here? Yeah, border I'll come into picture. Okay, border I'll come. Next thing. So what is the ID concept? So ID concept is similar like class concept, but there is a difference. What is the difference? ID means is an unique identification. So I'm going to provide ID here one, ID here two, ID here three, ID here four. So like this, everywhere you are going to provide IDs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you are providing this thing, if you want to provide this IDs concept, what we can do is I can provide ID by using hash. Okay, and now what I'm doing is like I'm going to provide some font size again, weight as bold. If I execute here, so for this ID, whenever you are providing, it became bold. One minute. See here, here you can able to see clearly the first one only you can see the bold. So if you want to provide multiple IDs, what you are doing? You need to add by comma. By comma. So if I execute this page, you can see whenever you are getting the IDs, you can able to provide the comma. So IDs and classes are similar, but the main use is ID is a unique place, class is not a unique. So wherever you want, you can write a class and you can use it. But ID is like a unique concept. So that's reason we are going to mainly deal with the classes and HTML elements mainly. IDs we are going to deal with very little because the concept of ID is totally different because ID is unique identification on the page. So by using that only at a point we can provide only one CSS. But the problem here is ID we can use, but in a HTML page we can write multiple IDs for a same tag. But the problem is CSS point of view, this is not an issue, but HTML point of view or JavaScript point of view, when you are trying to add things, it will become complex. Okay. Any questions? Now, we are going to have a one more concept. We are going to see those concepts are colors. What is this color? Color is nothing but, okay, color is nothing but, color is nothing but how the color we are going to provide an HTML page. By providing colors, we have, as of now I'm writing the names, red, green, blue, yellow, all these things. Is it the right way? It is the right way, but up to some extent. How many color names you know? How many color names we can remember? Not more than 30 or 40. But how can we provide different colors to an HTML page? We can provide different colors to the HTML page by using the concept of RGB, red, green, blue. So have you seen any, have you ever seen the cartridge on your printers? Wherever have you used the printers? Whenever you people have used the printers. So how many colors a printer is having? When you are refilling the printer or something. The maximum in the printer, you will be having only 3 colors. But by using the 3 colors, you are getting multiple colors in your printers. Yeah, 3 or 4 based on the printer type. But normal printers, they'll be having 3, and few printers, they're having a 4 colors. By using this 3 color combination, we can get any color in the world. So by using RGB concept, by using hexadecimal format, we can get the colors. So mainly we are going to use RGB, RGBA or HCL, but mainly we are going to discuss about RGB and RGBA. So let's see how can we provide RGB colors. So we are going to have hexadecimal. Hexadecimal number format is, what is the number format for hexadecimal? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. After this, what is? First one is 0. We can write by using hexadecimals A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. So this is the hexadecimal format from 0 to F. 0 to 15 means 16. 1 to 16 colors. So if you want to provide a color by using HTML, we are going to use RGB concept. So how we are going to provide RGB concept? We are going to provide RGB concept which each color having 220, 256 combinations. But we are going to calculate from 0 to 256, 0 to 250 combinations, we are calculate from 0. So it will come as 255. So 255 combinations, each and every color we can use, and we can form different combinations. So 255 for red and 255 for green, 255 for the hexadecimal format. How can we provide these numbers? By providing hash. So this is the RGB combination you can provide, as well as in hexadecimal format we can provide hash. And in 256, how can you provide? So two numbers 16 into 16, 256. No, sir, that's the reason we can provide two hexadecimal numbers. Example, I want to provide a red color. FF means 256. It will be 255 is the maximum. So 255 we can provide for the red, and green I am going to provide 0. Blue I am going to provide 0. By using this, we can get the red color. So I'm going to copy this thing. I'm going to write in place of red color. If I execute, you can see the red color is coming. Okay. Okay. You can see the red color as usual. If I want to provide blue color, so what I need to do? I need to mark red as 0, green as 0, blue as 2. You can provide this color. See here, my page is coming as usual, like old page. Okay, this is the way you can provide RGB format of colors in an HTML page. If you want to modify, if you want to get a white color, we can provide all our FF. So if you fill everything red, green, blue, all with 100%, you will get a white color. Okay, this is the way you can able to provide some stylings to a HTML page by using red, green, blue concept. Got it? Any questions still here? Now, now let's go to the one more important concept that is called box model. That is called box model. So what is this box model? Box model is nothing but in our HTML page, all elements are in a box. It means it may be square or it may be rectangle. Normally you will say as a rectangle you are going to have all the elements. All elements are coming as rectangle. Okay, all elements are rectangle. If you inspect this element, what you are getting? This total row is going to be one concept. So this is a rectangle, correct? As of now, it is a rectangle. So how the content is placed in a rectangle or how the content is placed on a HTML page, that we are going to call as a box model. In box model, we are going to have couple of concepts. So how can we see this one? We can see here only the box model example. Okay, the box model example we can see here. So whenever you have an ID for that, by using JavaScript, when you're doing modifications, if you provide ID, if you want to provide CSS for that, we are going to use this one. Okay, come here to a inspect element. Let me inspect this element. So here you can see everything you are seeing as a box, but here you can see there is a three concept: margin, border, and padding. So what are all these concepts? So whatever the content you are placing on HTML, it will be in a normal container box. So have you ordered any mobile from online? How the mobile is coming for you? Your mobile is in a secure package. And then how the mobile, suppose you have a mobile, on the top of the sun, what they are going to keep? They are going to keep air bubbles sheet. Why they are going to keep air bubble sheet? Have you ever noticed when you ordered a mobile, actual mobile pack, they'll rotate in a 8 bubbles and then they'll keep one more box on that. It may be Amazon or Flipkart. Why they are keeping that 8 bubble? So to give you a protection, even someone is throwing that mobile down, what happens? Your mobile is having a air bubble that will protect the actual package. Okay, actually you have a Amazon box, in that you have a air bubble, in that you will having a actual mobile package. So what it is going to do, it is going to protect your mobile from the damages. Even you throw it down or by default it fell down, what happens is that air bubble won't give any pressure to your mobile. The same concept we are going to see over here. So if you have a content, if you think like this, actual, this is a simple by, this is my sample content. If you think like this is a mobile, there we are going to have a padding. So what is the padding? Padding is simple, like you can provide some space between the border and padding. So now what is the border? Border is nothing but the line or the protective place between or the container. Okay, so the container. So how the border is going to come? So suppose if you want to provide the border for this, okay, I am going to provide border as 1 pixels. If you provide 1 pixels, solid, okay. See here, border is nothing but a container for your application. So from where a content is starting, from where the content is ending, that is going to be actual content. For that you are giving some outline. Okay, for that we are going to provide the outline. So actual place where the content is starting and actual place where the content is ending, that we are going to be surrounded by a border. Okay, so where your content is placed actually. Now, what is the padding? Padding is nothing but the space between border and the actual content. So now what I'm doing is here padding I'm going to provide as 30 pixels. What I said, what is the padding? Padding is the space between your content and the border in all sides. It's just not one side. From all sides, it is the space. If I execute this thing, see here what happened. This is my actual content. For this content, from the top it is giving 30 pixel space, and the left side is giving like 30 pixel, 30 pixel space, and bottom it is giving 30 pixel space. This is the way a padding. So now this is your package, Amazon package, and this is the air bubble space, and this is the content. So like this, you are going to have HTML page. Okay, got it. And what is the margin? So margin is nothing but the space which is between border and the next element. So as of now, we can see there is no space after this thing. What is the margin here? So margin is nothing but space between 30 pixels, or I'll provide as 20 pixels. Border to the next element. If I refresh this thing, see here, for this border, all the sides, how much space it is taking. This is the previous element started. As of now, there is no previous element. It is a 0th element. From 0th element to border, it will take 20 pixels from top side, as well as left side, as well as right side. At the bottom, it is going to be the space between the next element to the current border. Okay. Why padding on right side is covering the whole area? Because your content is not that much. Suppose let me give the whole content. Because your content is not that much big enough. If I execute, see what happened. You can see here there is a space. Okay, like this, a padding is going to cover. Got it. This is the important concepts in a HTML pages. This is called box model. Right is not default. Okay, right side also you have the space, you can provide the space, but the issue is like on the right side your content is not expanded that much. That's the reason you are seeing that right side big space. Okay, got it. Any more questions here? So next concept what we are going to see here is concept of links. So how a link is going to have CSS styles. Okay. Suppose you have a link on your HTML web page. So I have a link on my HTML page. Okay, I have a link on HTML page. So in this HTML page, in a link, how can we have different styles? So these things we are going to a link in HTML page is going to have a default styling that is with underline. So how can I change those things? By using the pseudo classes in CSS, we can modify those styles. So a link is going to have a, what is a pseudo classes? First of all, pseudo class is nothing but based on a state of any HTML element, we can provide some styling. So what are type of different styles a link is going to have? So this is a normal state. When you mouse over, this is called hover state. Okay, this is called hover state. And when you click on this link and then click to, it is going to redirect to the actual link page, that is called active state. And then there is one more state that is called visited. What is visited? If you have already visited that link from this page, that is called visited state. I'll show you example here. Serif https facebook.com. If I execute this thing, so let's see here. If I execute this page, see here, the fourth one, the third one, you are seeing in actual blue color, but the first two things are coming in light red color. So what is the difference? In this browser, I have already opened the pages called Google and Yahoo multiple times. Okay, so by using this browser, I have visited those links already. Okay, that thing we are going to call as a visited state. Visited state. But till now, this link I have not opened till now. This is going to be a what state? This is going to be a normal link state, not visited till now. So how can we provide different styling for different states for HTML anchor tag? So to provide this work, we are going to have anchor tag. For this, as I said, we have mainly four states. First one is the link state. Link state, what I'm doing, I'm going to provide color as green. Okay, if I execute this thing, you can see the third one only getting as a green color, and first two are not coming as a color change. Okay, again I can provide a state called A visited. I'm going to provide color as black, and you can see as black, color as red, as yellow. See here, first two colors are coming as red, black color. Okay, now it is coming as black color. Now, when you mouse over of any of the links, see here, my color is changing to red because based on the state, the color is changing. So these things are red colors. When you click on it, what happened? As soon as you click on it, what happened? You saw some color, active color as yellow, but we are not able to find it. That is a very small time gap we will get it. So that's the reason we can't find that color. But now when I go back to here and when I refresh this page, it's still coming as a, what it is coming? Green color. Because we have not actually visited that page. There is no web page of some website. That's the reason you are still seeing that one. Suppose if I change this to some of the website, which is available website. Uh, See here, as of now, the thing is there. When I click on it, it is going to NDTV and coming back. See here now, what happened? My ADFC, that link also became black because I have visited that page. So whenever visited, that style will be changed. Whenever mouse over, this is going to be the style. Like this, by different ways, you can provide different colors to an HTML element. Okay. Any questions still here? Okay. And the next thing what we are going to see is CSS combinations. What is the combinations? So let's see the CSS combinations example. So how can I provide CSS by using different combination? Suppose simple example, we'll see there are mainly four type of combinations. One is going to be descendant. First one is descendant, second one is child, third one is sibling, general sibling, and fourth one is adjacent sibling. Let's see one by one. So I have a div tag, okay, and then I have a para inside it, and inside this paragraph I have a span. This is child span. This is grad child. Let me check grad child. And this is child. This is parent. Okay, we have a page where we have, there is a parent, and for that we have a child, and then we have a grandchildren. Okay, and then we have a grandchildren. If I execute this thing, you can see parent, child, grandchild. So what is the descendant selectors? Okay, what is a descendant selector. Suppose if I have a div tag, for this, if I have a children called paragraph, what I want to do is I want to apply a style, color as red. If I execute this thing, see here, it is coming as red. Okay. So what is that? Whenever you are providing a space between a two tags, it takes as a parent and child relation. Okay, parent and child relation. Suppose if I provide here, what I'm doing here is I'm providing a span tag first. This is child span, and then I'm going to provide a paragraph. That child spanning nothing but just a tag like div. This is an inline element that we have already discussed. This is an inline element. If I execute this thing, see here, this is a child. For this child, there is no color. But for this grandchild, color became red because space is going to be a descendant selector. In the div tag, at any point of time, a paragraph came, then red color will apply. So that's the reason this grandchild red color is applied. Suppose you wanted to apply only to the children. If I provide a plus tag over here, okay. If I provide a plus tag over here, if I execute, sorry, greater than symbol. If I execute here, see here, for this first one only, it is coming as red because inside div, this is a child. But this paragraph is a grandchildren. So by using the greater than symbol, we can provide stylings only to the exact children. Okay. If you are not providing this and just providing, this is a general or descendant. So anywhere paragraph comes, it will apply red color. So that's reason you are seeing a red color over here. Here you are seeing a red color over here. So here what I'm telling is there is a concept called parent and child and grandchildren. See here, this paragraph is a children for div, but this paragraph is grandchildren for the div. See, there is a div tag and there is a span tag inside that, and inside that span tag you are having a paragraph. It means this is a grandchildren, but this paragraph is a exact children. Okay, if you provide greater than symbol, whenever a paragraph is a exact child for a div tag, then only this color will apply. Then only red color is applied. If I execute this thing, see here, here only you are getting the red color. Means this is a concept of calling as what do you calling a exact children. But here you can see there is a grandchildren paragraph also. So whenever you wanted to provide any paragraph coming inside this div tag, if you want to provide a color, then you don't need to provide this greater than symbol, just remove it. This is called a descendant selector. So inside div tag, at any point of time, at any place paragraph is coming, it will apply red color. Okay. If I execute this thing, you can see here. exact children of div tag. See, if you add one more paragraph inside the span, it is also grandchildren. Okay, suppose if you add one more paragraph here, this is a children now. This paragraph is a children for div tag. So first paragraph and third paragraph are children. And if you see these paragraphs are grandchildren for the span tag. Okay. And then what are all the next selectors? Sibling selectors. So this is called brother sister relations or brother brother relations or sister sister relation. See, I have a div tag. Okay, I have a paragraph. This is first brother. I have a paragraph. Again, this is second brother. Okay, this is the second brother. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide a general sibling. If I provide a tilde symbol over here, if a paragraph is a sibling for a div tag, so these are all sibling, correct? These are all sibling. This is the parent. Body is the parent now. Inside we have multiple children. So for the div tag, paragraph and paragraphs of sibling, and for paragraph, this is div and this div is sibling, and this paragraph two are. So here if you see the first one, second one, third one. So now if I apply div tilde paragraph, if you see here, what happened? So for these two paragraphs, you are getting a red color. Okay, this is called a general sibling. Suppose if I provide a plus symbol, if I execute this thing, you will get only first one as a color because this is an adjacent sibling. Okay, so you have two siblings, but which is the adjacent? This paragraph is adjacent. Suppose I am keeping one more sibling on the top. This is big brother. I'm just playing as big brother. If I execute this thing, you won't see color for this because the sibling relation will come from current elements to the below elements, not to the top elements. Got my point? Sibling relation will come to picture only from the current element to the down element because HTML and CSS is a line by line execution. Okay, line by line execution. So that's reason you can't see the top one because this 17th line is already executed. Okay, this 17th line is already executed, but as the line by line execution, you can't go back to the previous line. That's reason whenever an element is coming for that sibling piece, the next one will be the siblings when CSS is applying. Got the concept? This by using these combinations, we can provide CSS for multiple things. Why we need to use this type of combinations and everything? Because each and every element you can't provide a style, which makes work very big. Your page will be with lot of colors. That is not a good practice. That reason we are going to have this different combinations of HTML and CSS to provide styling for an HTML page. So these are all the topics we have covered. These are the main important concepts which we need to understand the CSS. So those we have covered as part of this class. So what we have covered as part of this class, we have seen inline styling, and in-page styling. And then we have seen box model. And then we have seen pseudo classes by using the ahref. And then we have seen CSS combinations things. And what is the final one? That is an external style sheet. There is no difference between the inline in-page style sheet and external style sheets. What is the difference is, instead of writing all the styles here, we are just copying the styles, okay, and we are writing in a one more file. I can write as styles.css, okay, and add the styles, and then I can link those CSS styles to the current HTML page by using the link relative style sheet and type as CSS and text, and then you can provide the link to the style sheet. So if I execute this thing, you can see the same thing is coming. So instead of writing and your page is going to be very big and everything, as well as the same styles you need to use all over the application. So providing those things as a separate style sheet, you can able to access in different pages. If you modify in styles, if the styles are available in 10 places, all 10 places it is applicable. If I'm writing the style sheet is a inline or in page, you need to go each and every element or each and every page, you need to modify the styles. Okay, this is the way we can provide or write an external style sheets. Okay, got it? This is all about the basic concepts of CSS. Fine. So from next class onwards, we are going to have the JavaScript. Okay, fine. Then we'll meet in the next class. Have a great day. Bye. Good night.